Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Code with Hafiz. My name is Hafizullah Masoudi and this is our 8th video of this tutorial, which is making or creating multiple authentication system in Laravel framework. Well, as you guys remember, in our last video we finished all the management parts. Let's first log into our system as administrator. So administrator and password is password. As you can see, the last thing that we did was finished the management of roles, and we said that the only thing that is left is the delete functionality. So we also talked about the delete functionality, that we will only work on the user's delete functionality, and we don't want to mess with the permissions and roles because it will throw error in the future if we delete one of them, because we will be using them in our project, in our backend of the project, so it will be hard to trace it or trace the bugs if we delete one of them. So we won't work on the delete for the permissions and roles. So first let's remove this delete button from permissions and also roles. So hit back, let's open our code editor and open your project in your code editor, as I already have opened it. Now let's go to resources, views, and admin manage, and first let's remove it from the permission. So index blade, let's comment out this link and close it. Now the next one, let's go to role index blade and comment this one too. So if you get back to your browser and refresh, yeah, that's looking fine. Now let's get back to manage users. Now what we want to do is we will install a package, because let me explain what I want to do for the delete functionality. I want to have a model, because if I click on this delete link, it should show a pop-up window or model and ask for confirmation, because it will not only make the project user friendly but also will prevent the mistake, because if a user or admin mistakenly clicks on this delete, so he will be prompted or asked for the confirmation. So the package that I want to install is called Sweet Alert 2. So open new tab and search for Sweet Alert 2. Well, let's open this first link in a new tab, and in here let's go to this installation and let's copy this line of code or command. Open your command prompt window. Let me zoom it a little bit. And in here first we have to navigate to our project folder. So cd //vamp64/www/multi-auth, and in here paste the code, but instead of npm I want to install Sweet Alert using yarn. So instead of npm install, I can say yarn add Sweet Alert 2 and press enter. It will take some time, guys, you have to wait for it to finish. So guys, our package has been successfully installed. Now if we get back to the browser and scroll down, yeah, we also have to import our Sweet Alert 2 in our JavaScript file. So what we can do is, here let's copy this ES6 module or TypeScript and get back to our code editor, and in here let's go to this JS and app.js, and after this view let's paste our code, and after that let's say window.swell should equal to swell. And that's all, guys. And to have access to this swell, we need also to run yarn run div or watch. So get back to your command prompt and in here let's say yarn run dev for development. Everything is compiled successfully. Now the next thing is that if I collapse all the folders, resources and views, yeah, I think that's all the configuration that we need for SweetAlert 2. And to check if it works, how can we check it? Well, let's close this app.js and go to admin, manage user and index blade. And in here what we can do, instead of this href, let's declare @click, which should equal to, let's say, user delete, and after that at the bottom let's declare our script field, so add section scripts and end section, and inside here let's say our script tags first, and after that let's say var app equals to new view, and inside here first let's declare our element, which is hash app, comma, after that we need our data, and after that we need our methods, and inside our method let's say user delete method. And let's get back to the documentation of SweetAlert, and after the installation let's go to this usage, and in the usage if we scroll down, yeah, this one is good for, let's copy this one and paste it in here, indent it a little bit because we want to check our code if it works. So now let's get back to our browser and refresh, and now if I click on this, yeah, let's force refresh. Yeah, our SweetAlert is working just fine. Now what we have to do is grab the model example from the documentation and paste it there. So let's scroll down for that. In here let's see, well, let's go to this examples. In here a custom, yeah, this is the one that we want. So copy this code from here and paste it instead of this one, indent it a little bit, and indent this one also a little bit. Yeah, that's good, I think. Now if I refresh and click on this, yeah, it's showing the model successfully. Now the next thing I want to do is, guys, I want to assign each user's ID to this model box. So how can we do that? Well, there are many ways to do that. First of all, we can do that by getting the data, which is this user's variable, with vue.js, but that would be a lot of work because we have to write the code from the scratch and remove this Laravel for each loop and get the data with vue.js and Axios, and after that use the v4, which is a kind of loop in vue.js, and show the data in our blade. But that is a lot of work. And instead of that, what we can do is pass props or properties, which is like this. In here we can say colon, for example, we want to pass the user ID, so we will name it user underscore ID, and this one should equal to, for example, in here we want to echo our user ID, so user arrow ID, and this is all we need for the link. And at the bottom what we can do is declare a props in here. So we can say props column, and let's name it user ID, or let's say user ID like this. Let's capitalize the I. Now in here too, let's remove this one and say user ID. Now we have access to this user ID. So if I show this user ID, let's alert in here. Let's comment this swell for now. So I will comment it, and in here let's say alert this dot user ID. And if we go back now and check our browser, it's not working. If I force refresh, yeah, it's still not working. If I alert something else, let's say, yeah, I think that's good. It is still not working, and that is because, let's see what is the problem. Yeah, we have to put a comma here because that is the reason it's not showing. So if I refresh now and click on this, yeah, our alert is working. Now let's remove this quotes from here because we want to check the ID. So if I refresh now, undefined. Or guys, we can do it like this because it won't work. And we can do this only when we create a view component, then we can pass the Laravel data like this. So let's remove it, or let's leave it. Instead of that, let's in here say user dash delete, and let's remove this class from, or before doing that, let's remove this one first, and let's cut this from here. Let's cut this link from here, and let's put a tag in here by the name of user dash delete. And now what we want to do is create this user delete component. So let's get to the JavaScript folder, which is this JS and components, and open this example component and save it as, for example, let's say user delete, and save, press enter. Now instead of this container, what I want to do is paste that link, and let's also register this component in our app.js. So let's duplicate this one once, and this should be user delete, and this one should be, let's say, user, and this one should be delete. Now the next thing I want to do is, let's get back to our command prompt and run yarn run dev to compile all the code. So yeah, it is compiled successfully. Now if we get back to the browser and refresh, we should be able to receive this link. So if I refresh, you can see nothing has changed and we have access to this blade. So now we can pass our ID. How can we do that? In here we can declare a prop which should be user ID. It should be equal to curly brackets $ user arrow ID. And after this, what we can do, let's remove the props from here, and let's go to user delete, and in here what we can do is, after this mounted, let's declare our props. So props, and it should be user ID, and after the props we need our data. And guys, we can return our data. Yeah, that's fine, I think. Data, and after the data we need our methods. So for the methods part, guys, let's cut everything from here. So I want to cut this method from here and remove this script also from here because we don't need it. We are already running our vue.js in here. So paste the method inside here. Now let's also indent it a little backward. Now this is alert user ID. Now let's check it how it works. So if I refresh now, yeah, the button is now gone. If I now, let's comment this all and refresh. Well, our passing the property is not working, which means this is not working. Well guys, this is a silly mistake because we have to run our watch. Because we are working in a view component, so we have to watch every time we make any changes. So let's run yarn run watch. And while it is running, let's see for any errors. Well, this should work, guys. This should work, yeah. Because we are passing the property in here, and then we are defining the property in here also, which is this user ID. And after that, we want to alert this dot user ID. Well, this should work. So everything is compiled successfully. Now if we get back, refresh, well, our button is not showing anymore. And if we go back to text editor, let's see what is the problem. We have comma here, yeah. Let's remove this one for a while and see if the error is available. Yeah. Well guys, I think the error is with this property. Guys, let's remove everything from here to see what is the problem. If we go back to the browser and refresh, and let's open our inspect element, go to console, you can see we have two errors. This is, yeah, it's not showing any message. If I force refresh, yeah, it gives the error anyway. So to fix this problem, and these error, most of them are because if we go back to our text editor, let's open our main blade, which is inside this layouts admin blade. And the thing that we want to do, let's remove first this widget bridge, because that is the reason of one error. You can see one error is removed, and the next one is, for example, for this demo. This is only for the demo, so remove this one too and refresh it. Yeah, it's working just fine. Let's also remove this another demo too because we don't need it. Yeah, it's working. Yeah, admin lt is working just fine. So the only thing that is left is this button. And why isn't this showing? So if we get back to our text editor, we are declaring the view component here, and after that we are registering it in here, which is good. Let's show this component instead of that. If we see it works, so let's paste it instead of this one. Save it. Now if I go to the browser and refresh, force refresh, yeah, it's not showing anything, and that is because, guys, it must show. Let's create our view instance again. Section, scripts, and add in section. and in here, or instead of here, yeah, let's say new view. We have to put this inside script tags. So first declare your script tags. Now we can say new view, and inside this one, let's say element should be hash app, and that's all, guys. Now if I go back, refresh, yeah, now it's working. You see, guys, what was the problem? We don't want to remove this because we should be importing view in each page, or instead of that we can assign view instance globally, which is in this app.js, which we commented in our first videos. So that was the problem, guys. Now if we go back to this index blade and change this one to user delete, so user dash delete, and paste it in here too. Now if I go back, refresh, now it shows our button. So it is working just fine, guys. Now let's pass the ID. So user ID should equal to double curly brackets, and inside here let's say $user arrow ID. Now let's get back to our user delete component. In here let's say comma, and we want to say methods, and inside methods will we removed our method from here, I think. Yeah, this is our method. Let's remove this data also from here because we don't need it. Now we are alerting this user ID. At click of this user, delete. So if I go back, refresh, yeah. Now if I click on this, it says undefined. And we have a warning also. Particular top name is user ID. Guys, let's change everything to small letters. Now if we go back, refresh, yeah, we don't have the error. And now you can see we have this user ID 4. And if I click on this, this one is 3. And if I click on this, this one is 2. As you can see, guys, it is working just fine. Now the other thing that we want to do is, let's get back to our user delete, remove this alert because we don't need it, and let's comment or uncomment this as well message. Let's check if it works. If I refresh, yeah, our model is working just fine. Now in here what I want to do is show this message, yeah, and then if the result is fine, well, it is well firing a delete. If I refresh, click on this, yes, you can see it shows the deleted message. But before the deleted message, what I want to do is use Ajax, or send Ajax request to delete this record. So for that I will be using Axios. So let's say Axios dot post, and post, we want to go to a URL. So let's copy this all URL from here, this is slash also, and paste it here. And instead of index I want to say delete, slash, after that plus this dot user ID, and after that we want to say then let's say response equals to this anonymous function. If that was success, then we want to show this message. And in here let's say dot catch, if any error occurs, so we want to show that error. So for that we can use catch and anonymous function, and here let's say console dot log, and we want to log the error. So now we have to create this route, in our routes file. So let's go to routes folder, web.php, and if I scroll up, yeah, after this one, let's create it. And we don't need a name for this one because we are using it as an endpoint. So instead of this update, let's say delete, and it should go to admin controller user delete function. User delete. Now let's open our admin controller, which is an app http controllers admin controller, and if I scroll to the top, after this user update, yeah, in here let's say public function user delete, and we have ID coming from the database, and in here let's first return our ID and see if it works. So if we go back and refresh, and if I click on this one, let's say yes, deleted, it deleted it. And now if I go to network, you can see we have this 4 ID, and if I select this 3, you can see it sends, it returns the 3 ID. So it means our code is coming the way to this method. So now instead of this return, we can say return response arrow JSON, and inside here let's say user colon delete ID, and that will do everything for us. So guys, let's head back to our code, and instead of deleting these default users, let's create another user, name it for example Hafizullah, and email should be hafizullah@app.com. Password should be auto-generated, and let's don't assign any roles to this user. So create user, it throws a 404 error. So let's say hafizullah@app.com, and administrator, create a user. It's not working. Well guys, our user has been created, but the redirection didn't work. Well, we will check it after we check our delete functionality. So let's check this one. So if I delete this, it throws an error which says non-static method eloquent delete should not be called statically. So instead of this, let's remove this one, and instead of that we can say user equals to user find or fill the ID, and after that let's say user arrow delete, and after that we want to say user or return response arrow JSON, and we want to return the user variable. Now I think it should work. If I go back, refresh, yeah, now let's delete this one. It has been deleted. If I refresh now, you can see the user has been gone. And if you notice guys, our table didn't update it, and that is because we also have to get this table data with vue.js. So we will do that too, because I will show you how to update this table after we delete a row. But first let's fix this create new user functionality because it is not working. And if we go back to the code, let's scroll to the up and user create, where we are validating the data. unique. Yeah, but now if I, yeah, it should work, guys. Yeah, it should work. It is syncing the rules, yeah, which is good. And if we go to the create blade, let's open this one. It is user store and the method is post. And this one is user store, method is post. Well, guys, it was working just fine. Don't know what happened to this functionality. So let's check it again. So if I type another user, for example, let's say Ali, and Ali at app.com. We don't want to attach any roles, because if I show you, you can see in here we are not assigning any roles to it or any statement. Well, let's select administrator. So create user, it works now. And now if I create another user, let's say this one should be Mahmoud at app.com. And if I don't select any role, let's create it, it throws an error. And if we go to manage users, it created a user but didn't redirect us, and that is because of this line of code. And we have to declare for example an if statement and put this code inside that if statement. So let's say if $request arrow, let's see, yeah, rules, then we want to sync the rules, else let's say return false. I think that's good, guys. Now if I go back, refresh, now let's create another user, let's name it Ahmad at email.com, and we don't want to select any roles, so create user. It is not going back. Yeah, it created Ahmad, but it is not working as it should. So guys, what can we do in here is remove this else, because we don't need it. We just want to check for the roles. If there are any roles assigned, then we want to sync, or else we just want to return our redirect. So now if I refresh, yeah, we can create another user, let's say name at app.com, and now let's say create user. Yeah, it is working now just fine. So guys, that was the problem for this one. Now for the next problem that we have is, if we delete this one, you can see it deletes the data but doesn't refresh the table. And if we refresh it manually, you can see the data goes away. Well, that is because we also have to grab all the information of the user using vue.js. So I think guys, this is enough for this video, and you have learned a lot about the component of vue.js and how to pass the Laravel data to Vue component, and learn about the Ajax request and delete record using vue.js and Axios. So we will leave the v4 loop for the next video, and this was all for this video. And if you didn't subscribe to my channel, please subscribe to my channel for support. So for now, bye guys, see you guys in the next video.